This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Heard at Sports Bar and Grill in La Vista and Gretna. Our sports bar is designed for fans of all ages. Enjoy the game in a vibrant, family-friendly setting with a menu that caters to both kids and adults. Everyone can find something they love. Our big screens and enthusiastic atmosphere make game days unforgettable. And of course, we're more than just a bar. We're a place where families and friends come together to celebrate and enjoy sports. 2 amazing locations: 12744 Westport Parkway in La Vista and off South 204th Avenue in Gretna. Heard at Sports Bar and Grill, where every day is game day.
I knew it. Another Heard at Media production.
Hi, Chantal.
Hey, Rexian.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
How funny, like we just both said that and we didn't even plan it.
Yeah, well, I mean, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, which it doesn't feel like it at all. And today's the biggest.
What are you making, by the way?
So, well, here's the thing, you guys, we have a monster hosting Thanksgiving.
This is public, so be careful here.
No, we love her, but she's a monster. Like, she is just very,
Type A.
Oh my gosh. So she is like assigning things of what people are going to make. And like the one thing that I am good at, Chantal, I'm telling you, on Saturday and Sunday, because I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners, everyone was raving about my corn casserole. Like every single person was like, this was one of the best things.
It's really good.
Yeah. And so I had told her I wanted to make it. And she's like, sorry, get played. I'm making it. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. And so, and then everything else, like everyone had. And like, she's texting me like, what are you making? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had told her, my husband was like, I want to make funeral potatoes. And then when I told her that, she's like, well, then I'm not making mashed potatoes. Like, should I not? And I'm like, no, that's like a staple. You need to make it still. I mean, we're going to have a lot of people. It's all our aunts, uncles. You guys will make videos tomorrow to show you guys. But
my God.
It's all our aunts, uncles. It's everybody. So I'm like, no, you can never have too much potatoes on Thanksgiving. And with Christmas and Easter, like I feel like the food is never good because our aunts just make like dolma and like they don't even
Eastern food.
Yeah, and it's not good. We eat that every day, ma'am. Like, please do not cook that for the holidays. So this is gonna be a little different. So Jacob, when we went on Saturday and Sunday, he made these stuffed jalapenos, like bacon wrapped with cream cheese. I promise it was the first thing at both places that were eaten, and everyone complained that there wasn't more. So now I'm like, Jacob, everyone was obsessed with your thing. Why don't you just bring that to Pinnell's house? So
yeah, why not?
So I don't know. So what are you doing?
Well, she tried to take away sweet potatoes from me, and you guys, like, I've made sweet potatoes for our family for a long time now, since like 24 or something. I don't know, like 10 years now. So it's like, she try to take that away. I'm like, dude, you're not touching that. Like,
I'm telling you, she's crazy, you guys. I don't know.
Like usually, no, it's just usually people, when you have like almost like a, potluck style, it's like you have a list and you let people assign themselves to that list or then write other things that they want to make. You don't tell people what they should make.
Yeah. And
like,
then
what if they're not good at it?
Well, then she texted us and she's like, how much servings are each of you making? And I was like, girl, I'm like, hold me back right now. I'm not even hosting and you're stressing me out.
But I thought that was valid though, because I will
say,
no, I think it's valid because I was just at a Friendsgiving, like a Cousinsgiving, and everybody brought like the half sheet pan, like the one that you get from like the dollar store, the aluminum pans, and they had no food and which means when you have no food left, that means you didn't have enough food. Okay. Like where we come from, if you have no leftover left, you didn't have enough food. So that's what happens when
Well,
you only make
that means the host didn't make enough food.
No, because if you just bring like half a sheet of mashed potatoes and there's 40 of us, that's going to be gone within 10 people. So you need to make double.
I don't know. I still don't think the serving thing is fair. I don't know.
I think so.
Wherever I've gone, it's always had leftovers and it was always perfect. And right now, the amount of food that we're about to have at her house tomorrow is going to be crazy. So I don't know. What was another thing? Oh, then she asked us, like, she's just like asking us for everything. It's just like, you do it, do whatever you want, you know? And she's like, what liquor do you guys drink? And I'm just like, I'll drink whatever you have, you know? But I don't know. I feel like she's just, you know,
she's stressed there. She's stressed.
Yeah, she's stressed. Like, I'm like, you can't host anymore, mama. Like, I don't know. This isn't made for everyone. I know our moms did it, but you know what? I appreciate her so much because our moms stopped doing it because they were so mad that we'd only go to my aunt's house, stay for a couple hours, then go to our dad's side. And then she's like, why am I wasting my time, you know, cooking and cleaning? And with our aunts, like we never bring anything. Now we do now that we're older, but she stopped like 4 or 5 years ago and we didn't bring anything. So it was just on her maybe. And I don't know.
Not really. Christmas or Thanksgiving we've always had because we never liked what they'd make. So we started making for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. I do think if you want to stay close with all your first cousins and like really hang out with them still, what you're gonna have to do now is like us, you know, we have to start hosting everyone. And what she's doing, which is really nice because we're a big family. Like we're like 40 plus people.
And she has a massive house. So because we have so many people, like we have the aunts, uncles, cousins, and then our kids. So it's going to be crazy, but I am just really happy because I missed because once like our aunt said, we're going to stop doing it, only me and Chantel's family for certain holidays, like Thanksgiving, we would do it together.
Yeah.
And then no one else would. So I'm glad that she's doing this. And of course, my aunts like cornered me and they're like, when are you hosting next, huh? Stupid. Huh? Why haven't you hosted yet? Stupid. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then they bring my husband and they're like, come here, Jacob. When are you going to host? You guys want to do Christmas? And then
I was there for that conversation and I was like, we already have someone hosting Christmas Eve. Why do you guys want her to host just to say that she hosted?
They just want to talk shit, you guys.
Yeah,
they just want me to fail.
Misery.
Yeah. And I actually hosted
Roxanne's not the favorite of the family.
Yeah, I hosted. I'm really not. I hosted a badass Thanksgiving last year. A badass one. Like how cute was my setup and everything?
Yeah, so cute. It was just my family though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So they didn't see it. But like we're just like all too judgy in our family and it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, we're too judgy, but we all do it. So it's like we just live with them.
Yeah. Chantel, by the way, people saw, because my kids, you know how they went to Secret Santa or they went to meet Santa and they said that Chantel looks like Sloan, but which one person said that and I was dying because I don't see it at all. But someone else, or a couple of people who was like, just so you know, you talk about your second child, Sloan, she literally looks like trouble. I'm like, yeah, I'm not kidding when I say it.
It really is that one.
And also, you guys, we are getting new mics. Someone actually DM'd us and feedback is a gift. I appreciate you. Ever since I bought a new computer, my mic has been horrible. So she was like, it sounds like you're in a bomb shelter. I can't hear this anymore. I'm like going to be done listening to you. And I was like, okay. And all I responded was like, you know what? You just motivated us to buy really expensive mics and that's it. So we ordered them.
Yeah. And we spent a pretty penny, so they better be good.
I know, I swear.
But that was our fault. Like we've always been like this, like low budgeted. Like we're like trying to go through with this, like, or we're just been lazy, honestly, to order them.
Yeah.
But finally, we got some mics.
Yeah. And it is crazy, Chantel, because we even know like housewives who listen to us, and it's like they're probably like their volume really sucks ass, you know. But anyways, so I know a lot of you guys are into two teas in a pod, but if you are, I really challenge you guys or want you guys to give Crystal and Cynthia's podcast a chance because I listened to it and I was never a crazy fan of either Cynthia. Maybe Cynthia, I liked her more
Cynthia.
than, yeah, I feel like I liked her, but just wasn't invested in her. And I was never a fan of Crystal.
Oh, no. She could have been like,
never
brought up again and we would never
we were
care.
fine. But I'm listening to their podcast and I see such a different side to both of them while I listen to them. And when I've listened to Two T's in a Pod, which I promise we've probably listened to one episode or two, and it was because someone was on it. But so I guess it's not as fair for me to say, but they did come across as aggressive, judgmental, or you know what it is, Chantal? We've heard clickbaits, where they've talked about other people's husband and said this person should get fired and that. And this vibe is so different. They just give you a different perspective in a way of not trying to judge. And Crystal's very vulnerable here. And I wish we saw this side of Crystal that I listened to. I've only listened to one episode in their podcast because I was like, she's actually so likable and they're both so relatable here. And I encourage you guys, if you guys are sitting there and listening to Two T's, which I feel like is more like aggressive, I don't know, just a different vibe, very judgmental. I love what Cynthia and Crystal are doing. So
yeah, I think what the biggest thing too about it is that it was so unexpected. So then when you are listening to it and like they have really great banter with each other, they're very comfortable with each other. And I think we always say chemistry is what makes podcasts happen and make people listen to over and over again. It's not what it's not all those things. It's like if you have a co-host, like it has to have chemistry, and they have it.
And they get each other and they understand each other. And I love it. And I don't know. And I just feel like you see like that they're good people and they're really trying not to judge and they're really trying to be careful, but then they're giving you so much perspective. And I know we usually don't like shout out a podcast like this, but I just was never going to listen to it because I was like, I was never a fan of Crystal. And then I listened to it and I was like, I think I'm a fan of Crystal. So
there was one part too, and like I think it was Cynthia. She was the one that watched the show. Like it was like last episode.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
she recapped Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and Crystal had never watched that part yet. But like even just even though for her not watching it, her insight, what she knows about the ladies and behind the scenes, it was just interesting. So yeah, I agree with you.
Well, so another thing with Crystal that I thought was interesting is she's having a hard time. Okay. She's having a hard time that she wasn't asked back. And so she won't watch the show. I think it's too fresh for her. She was invited to things also that while they were filming, and she's like, I'm not going to sit in the corner while you guys are in a corner fighting. And then I'm not getting paid for it, So she won't watch the show. So Cynthia's kind of talking through some scenes and then getting her opinion on it. But it's so interesting because you can feel that she is a little bit hurt,
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm sorry.
I know, but it does like from her perspective, she was on for like what, 4 seasons, or was it 4 seasons? I think
I have no idea, but a couple seasons. Yeah.
It was definitely more than 2. So, it's like you feel, you get in this like zone and like you get so cool and like you feel so like great, and then all of a sudden you're not on it. It's like, it's a big adjustment for a lot of these people.
Yeah. So definitely, I guess I said challenge, but I encourage you guys to just take a listen. And some of you guys ask us like, what else should we listen to? And I listened to it and I was like, this is good. Like I can see myself listening to this. So yeah. But on today's episode, we are going to talk Beverly Hills and, Chantal challenged me too and said, we're going to say how we feel about the episode, but like, we're also open to hearing other sides. Cause I finally went through our DMs today cause we were so behind on DMs just because I've been at home with like 4 sick kids and just with work and everything in the holidays. And, a lot of you guys like had different perspective on why you see things certainly. And I'm like, okay, I like can see that as well. So yeah.
And especially because it's not like we're so passionate about our side, like if we were, we'd be like, okay, we don't care. But like, so yeah, like you said, we are open and it's okay to have difference of opinions.
I liked how we kind of talked about just certain main points. Like, I don't want to recap the entire episode. I did write a little bit, but like there were just like some things that stood out to me and that I also want to get your opinion on.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is where we started with the episode is like both Kyle and Dorit were actually finally talking about like their issues. So like what did you think about that?
Well, so to me, Dorit's not the most popular. And while Chantal and I, we love OGs, where Kyle stands. I do believe Dorit and why Kyle is upset with her. I don't think Kyle was genuinely upset about the Watch What Happens Live. I feel like she was annoyed, but not upset enough to say what she said on Amazon that Dorit exaggerated their friendship. To me, I feel like Kyle did that to hurt Dorit. And I absolutely think it wasn't about the Watch, or I think it was about the Morgan stuff, where Dorit says, what did she say exactly about the Morgan stuff? That, I feel like I'm not able to get as close with Kyle because of Morgan.
Yeah, like they distanced herself once Morgan came in the picture, basically.
Yeah, and I do agree with Dorit that I do think that's why Kyle. I don't think the Watch What Happens Live. She drank. She didn't even say who. And yeah, you shouldn't have drank. But there was a part where Dorit says Kyle has a different story of why she's upset with me, and they do show a flashback, and Kyle does have a million different things not a million, but
Yeah, but what if that's really is all the reasons? Like those add up for you to be like, okay, maybe this is not a friend I want, So like
I can see that.
Yeah, like to me, it's like I see both sides in the sense of like Dorit like is finally telling Kyle, let's be real. Like, listen, if we're not friends, if you're saying we're not friends, we are, I'm not gonna be as nice to you as you think I'm going to be.
She's activated.
Yeah, she's activated, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, let's be real here. And then I agree with Kyle in the sense of like she has a lot of reasons to be mad at her. And if maybe they're not like the most craziest reasons, but I think the biggest thing is Kyle never took her friendship as serious as Dorit took their friendship.
I wrote that too.
Oh, how funny. And I think that's what really is like the biggest, problem is that Dorit doesn't understand that Kyle never valued her the way that Dorit maybe valued her in her life.
Yeah. And
but
I think,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I also think, when Dorit stopped being friends with Lisa Vanderpump and then also alienated the PK stuff because he had to obviously stick with his wife. I do think Dorit expected a certain type of loyalty from Kyle, and Kyle has like her own group of friends. So maybe Dorit was just always expecting so much more than Kyle could have ever offered. And I don't know. I kind of thought about that.
Yeah. What part was really funny to me was when we were watching the fight and Kyle's like to Dorit, I've never seen a side of you before. And it's like, what are you like? Why are you acting like that? And that's like so weird when you're fighting with someone for someone to say to you, it's like, you're going to all of a sudden get so defensive. But she did that to Sutton last year. Do you remember that? Like there was where she's like to Sutton, you never act like this. Why are you acting like this? Like, why are you acting like this? So it's like this weird thing that Kyle maybe does when she's fighting with someone to like call out that they're acting different. But yeah, like people act different when they fight with you.
Right. Yeah. Is it like gaslighting kind of?
I don't know what it was. It's just weird. It's like, yeah, like it was just weird that like she did this to Dorit and then she did it to Sutton last year. So it's like, okay, Kyle. But like it's hard because I'm not like totally on Dorit's side with this whole like, them two thing. I don't know where I fall, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm unclear too. The problem is when people are best friends, you have to be loyal. You can't say certain things, and I totally get it. You cannot cross the line. But now Dorit has nothing to lose because she saw Kyle stop speaking to her completely when they weren't filming. So here's how I view it as, again, Dorit just keeping her mouth shut. And I like we were just saying, I feel like Kyle liked Dorit, but never, was actually her best friend. So I don't know. I just feel like their friendship, I feel like Kyle kind of needs to be real with Dorit too. Yeah. And I don't know if Kyle will look good if she's real with Dorit. She might look bad if she's like, honestly, I didn't view you that close.
Yeah.
And viewers might turn on her. So
yeah.
It's hard because like who wants the backlash?
Yeah. I mean, Dorit is here to play though. She's coming. She's coming.
Oh my God. So. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This was a great episode.
Yeah. She's being I'm excited for this season, to be honest, because she's being very vulnerable. She's being very open. And I think that's what we always ask for of these ladies. And she's doing it all. So
let's take a quick break and talk about one of our sponsors, HelloFresh. Make this fall the tastiest season yet with farm fresh produce and easy autumn-inspired recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh has tons of options for whatever you're craving. Choose from a changing menu of over 50 recipes each week, plus take your pick from over 100 market add-on items like dessert, breakfast, and snacks. Working full-time and having 4 kids, it's almost impossible to go to a grocery store. That's why I always lean on HelloFresh. Convenience is everything, and they make it so convenient. Plus, their food is so tasty. Their Presto Pesto Panko Chicken is my favorite. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free-TRH. Applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free-TRH.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to get to our next scene, but go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about Beau, but if you have something before that.
Yeah, there was a scene where, I mean, it kind of interchanges regardless, because it was a scene where Sutton and Kyle are sitting down having dinner or lunch. I don't know what it was, but this is where you see Sutton like basically telling Kyle, you need to file for divorce. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
need,
yeah, I wrote, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, so what, how did you feel about that? Because it is being a good friend by telling someone like that your experience, but sometimes when you push so much of your
Oh my
experience,
gosh,
it's very
so
off-putting.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very annoying. Like maybe Kyle does have a different relationship than you do with
right.
your husband, you
Mhm.
know? So it was like, what did you, do
Me
you think
and
she was being
you
a good
are
friend?
no, me and you are so aligned because Sutton's been through it when it came to her marriage. And Sutton is, obviously saying you need to file for divorce. She wants Kyle to be smart. Maybe I'm naive. I don't see Mauricio being dirty with Kyle having 4 grown daughters. So sometimes just because you went through something doesn't mean everyone is going to have a similar outcome to
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I view it.
He did say something about like the business, like anything that you make after, like
Yeah.
after you file. And like, Kyle's not no like just housewife. She works. Like she does a
Kyle
lot of
got
things.
money, dude.
Yeah, she does a lot of things. So maybe for her best interest, it might be that what if she has to owe Mauricio money? Like who knows, So it's like
Yeah,
Mauricio has the agency, but to Kyle, she owns 50% of that. So like,
right.
what if Kyle has to owe him money? So I think that's what maybe Sutton's doing. So, but it was just too much the way she was pushing her experience. Like, oh, okay, we'll see. Like she's like almost like mocking it in a sense. Like you think you have a good relationship with your ex until you go through this kind of stuff. Is that what is her tone in it?
I think what's lacking with the Sutton stuff is that Mauricio is so close with his 4 grown daughters.
Yeah.
And because he's so close with them, he knows that they are protective. And I do talk about this a little bit later. So if
Okay.
he does the wrong move, and I'll talk about it later, but I did want to talk about the Bo thing because,
Bose.
Bose, it's Bose.
Yeah, like
Okay.
B-O-Zeke or it's Bozma.
Okay. Well, I'll go BOZ just
Yeah,
because I'm
Bose.
terrible in names.
I know Erica did it too. She's like, I can't wait to go to Bose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm loving Bose. I do wish that they cast another additional person who has a family, who's married. And I know that she's a young daughter, but I do feel like Andy is making the show about women who are badasses and have great careers and have been focusing on their careers. And I absolutely love that for them. But again, that's not why we were watching The Real Housewives. For example, Bose is, out here, she's speaking to an audience. Her resume, are you kidding me? Incredible. But I miss when these ladies would be with their sister or best friend or family member and they open up about, what's going on with them. And it's heartbreaking about her daughter being, robbed of as like
Yeah.
of having a parent. Because when I think about people who were robbed from having a parent at a young age, it truly makes my stomach churn because life is just so unfair and I just cannot imagine that. But I feel like most people thought when they watch like a Bose that she's a badass and she was able to do amazing things. But the mom at home who's doing drop off, pick up, a million activities, it's not relatable to most Americans. And I feel like Real Housewives was so successful initially because it was moms, moms watched, but even like we weren't even moms yet and we watched and we could relate to how our parents are or how we want to be as a mom. So I don't know. I like he's doing that with New York. He's propping out New York women who, have this crazy career, but it's like, that's not why I'm watching Real Housewives.
I know. I'm wondering though, because like as time has went on, like all women work now, and like do all these things. It's like,
I
is it
get
hard to,
that.
yeah, is it hard to find that,
No, I don't. And I don't think anything's wrong with working because like right now I'm a working mom. I have like 2, 3 jobs and I'm still very involved in like my family life and stuff. So maybe there's a balance. Whereas they're trying to get names like Jenna Lyons, Rebecca Minkoff. I like Bose. So I don't think, I think it's great. I just would have liked another person to, kind of really bring the Real Housewives
Yeah,
back a little bit. Like, look how we're all so interested in Dorit's life right now. The
I
young
know.
children, the
Mhm.
husband, the marital issues, the fighting, you change. We're all so invested in it. That's Real Housewives.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
What'd you think
so
about her
yeah,
house?
it was really nice.
Oh, okay. I'm shocked you said that because you were very like, white,
I,
white walls
yeah,
and stuff, and she had a lot of color. I liked it. It was really like niche. Like her
yeah,
backyard was gorgeous. Oh, is that Sloane?
yeah. I don't know, you guys. Mommy's working though. Um, you know what? Actually, I think I had wrote about the shoes thing.
Yeah.
The shoe thing when you walk in, and she was like, "I'm
Yeah,
sorry."
she's like, "Can you take off?" She's like, "Can you take off your shoes?" And then they're all like shook, you know. But I like love that
because same.
Yeah, you're not walking in my house with your shoes. Like I don't know where your shoes have been.
And my mother-in-law, I'm shutting the door. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
My mother-in-law introduced me to like the slipper things where she's like, "You're not walking in with your shoes, but I have slippers for you." But unfortunately, my feet were too big for her slippers.
Oh,
Yeah, and so now I get embarrassed, and I'm like, "No, I'll just be barefoot without socks. It's fine because like your shoes don't fit me, and I don't need to be reminded that I'm Shaquille O'Neal over here."
Well, what I would be embarrassed though sometimes is like, imagine if when people take off their shoes and then they're wearing socks and
Oh,
like,
if the
what if
feet were dirty? Oh,
yeah, your floors were dirty and like then like their socks are a little dirty and you're like, oh wow,
by the way,
that's
I was
happened to
dying
me.
because. Oh,
Where like
really?
I
Oh,
went into a
gosh.
house and it was like that, not my house, but my house, but like it could happen, at my house.
Yeah. So, by the way, Dorit, man, I was dying because she's so happy that Bo and her clique, like, she's like,
Bows.
finally, there's Bo's. Sorry, she's
Mhm.
so happy that Bo's in her clique,
I know.
and I was like cracking up at that.
It's perfect timing for that. But like, how do you, because it was Erica, her, and Bose in their house, and they go in their backyard. Her backyard is beautiful. And, she's telling her about like the whole situation with Kyle a little bit. And like, I love that, Erica, and I hope this is a popular opinion, that she's not
Why
getting
am I
involved.
loving Erica?
I mean, we barely see her, but I'm loving that she's not getting involved and she's just staying Switzerland, even though we hate when people do that, but she really is best friends with both of them. And I think what she's doing is perfect. She's not talking shit with her so we can get back to the other one. She just is being a sounding board. And I think that's perfect.
I wrote that she's so calm. She's so neutral. She made a great point where she was like, Kyle and Dorit are fighting while Mauricio and PK are living their best life.
Yeah.
And it was so true to me. And they're doing it together now. And I'm just liking, I know that we've barely seen her, but the first 2 episodes, I'm liking her presence. I'm liking that she's not a try hard. Like she's being so problematic. I'm liking seeing that side of her. Yeah, because,
no,
at times we've really not liked Erica. So it's nice to see this side of her because people grow, people change every season where we feel different about someone. So yeah. What do you think about, by the way, PK being that guy who, when he gets in a fight with his wife, he would then just leave?
I don't like that because like that creates like those he said the word resentments. Like that creates resentment. Every time you leave, every time like your husband sleeps on the couch or whatever the case is, it's like those small things like create resentment, like maybe you'll get over them, but like the next time they do it, it's like a whole list of things that you just did. And it's like you shouldn't do that.
And imagine if like imagine if Dorit did that.
Exactly.
So that's what's so messed up. Yeah. Do you blame her for not telling people?
No, I think sometimes when you're like going through, because like, listen, like what if it's like, if she did tell all her friends a horrible thing PK's does, and then she's with them, they're all going to look at her sideways like, are you with this guy? And they're going to put that pressure on her. And I think it's great that she figured it out for herself, or they figured it out for themselves. Maybe he's the one it seems like he's the one that's initiated this more than she has, because she's just been living with it a little bit. She's just been like going through the motions, like, dealing with his ups and downs. And I think for her, like, to not tell people, maybe I hope she did tell at least a couple, people in her life, not her castmates. Maybe she did tell Kyle some stuff, but like, because she did say like Kyle knows things between her and PK, and I think it was smart of her, and I'm happy she's now being open and explaining and not hiding and explaining their issues.
Right. Yeah. What do you think about Mauricio replacing the photo in the office of a photo of him with Kyle, with him in the Dancing with the Stars?
I think that's very strange. I think let's just like either take away the whole frame or just leave it. Like, why would you replace it with something else? This is not your home. This is your like both of your guys' home. It's not like your new home.
Yeah, that's kind of like what Kathy said. She's like, it's one thing to take it down, but then to replace it with your dancing partner is just weird.
Exactly.
Maybe deep down, obviously Mauricio is not going to come out and say, because again, he doesn't want to hurt his children. But maybe he's really hurt with the Morgan stuff, and that's why he did that, because Kyle was so out there with Morgan.
I think we're gonna see a lot of Kyle reflecting and like like I don't know, it's like, her sitting in her bed and she's like sad, it's like lonely, like I feel like we're gonna see a lot of that, and I think it's really gonna hit her we're gonna see it hit her more this season than
I wrote, is it hitting Kyle now that she and Morgan aren't together?
Where it's like you're not getting this attention and you're actually alone.
Yeah. Do you think that Kyle and Mauricio are going to be those couples that don't fight about money?
Yes and no. Like,
Okay.
of course, they're going to go through things, but I think like you made up a great point that he is so close with his daughters that he's not
Yeah.
going to, ruin the mom
Yeah.
to get more money. And, like they would look at him disgusting if he did that. And it's like he could lose his daughters if he did do that. So I do
Right.
think they're different. I think they have way more respect. I think were in a marriage for much longer than a lot of people have been. And they did grow their empire together. It sounded like, she walked into the marriage and he had all these things and he feels prideful. Like they really did do it together.
And they had issues, but they respected each other. And you
Yes.
could see that. What is, by the way, Belvedere Club Soda?
It's vodka, which is your favorite, and then you just add club
Okay.
soda.
But why Belvedere? It's like do we have that in Michigan?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a popular vodka.
Because I was like, I want to try it because she has been drinking this for how long,
Belvedere club soda, carcass. I mean, I'm gonna ruin it, but carcass out 2 lemons. Like we know her order. It's like a meme.
Yeah. Okay. So
Short glass, not tall glass, or something like that, right?
I don't even, okay. I didn't know all that, but just the
Yeah, that's what she
Belvedere Club
does.
Soda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
like, I
Belvedere
need
club
to
soda.
try.
She says 2 lemons, carcass is out, which means she wants you to squeeze a lemon. Don't put the lemon peel in, and then she wants it either in a short glass or a tall glass.
Are you allowed to ask that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it seems like a lot. So I'm just wondering.
But she always probably goes to these nice places, so it's not like she's gonna run
Right.
Robin and asking for that.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. So I definitely wanted to touch on this. So to me, Chantel, PK is ugly as F. No wonder they had such a toxic relationship. And see, this is when I say that that's the difference with Mo and PK. So Mo and the 4 older daughters, he can't act like that towards their mom or he won't have daughters. Older daughters are going to stick with their mom. PK is so ugly towards Dorit, and you can tell she's absolutely heartbroken. But on another note, is she heartbroken because this life that she showed to the world is complete opposite of how we all viewed it? And PK really was never that great towards her because I don't know. It sounds like PK has wanted this divorce for so long. And maybe when he drank, he could tolerate what kind of relationship he had with Dorit. But now that he's sober, he even did say, I see clear. And he realized he doesn't like her. And then he referenced the server thing and says, if I talk to a server, how you and I talk to each other, we'd be kicked out. And that's why when I talk about Mauricio and Kyle, the difference with them is they had a respect for each other. And it sounds like PK and Dorit didn't until, PK said, I'm over this, while Dorit was willing to continue to just like fight and be disrespectful and say low blows.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that like when he went so low with his drinking and she couldn't handle anymore, and like the only way she probably could handle it was by like yelling or screaming, and it gets more and more and more. It's like he allowed those things to happen, and it's like she also allowed it to happen too because she's the one's doing it. But like it's like he's so drunk that he can't just sit her down like you cannot talk to me this way.
But
Because
he said to her, he said, you wanted me to stop drinking. I stopped drinking. We're still fighting.
yeah.
So, and then there was like kind of like the resentment. And that's when she talked about the low blows, like the low blows. And he said, when I first met you, you were all about me. And now you're a different girl and you're about you and what you want to do.
Like, but grow up, dude. People change. Grow up.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a fair thing to say for him, like that
Yeah.
she's like evolved. Her kids are getting older. She wants to do different things. I don't think that's fair. I do think maybe there is pressure being on the show where she's like, PK, you have to be around. PK, we need to do this. PK, if you don't, this is how it's going to be, viewed. And he was like, I'm so over living like this, when we don't even like each other. Do we even sleep with each other? I'm so over it,
I also wonder if there was like a money thing. Like there's always been ups and downs about PK making money and whatnot. And I wonder if it was like when she started doing the show for a long time, she clearly makes over $1 million, each season on the show. And it's like, did that change because she's the one now that can be like more of a breadwinner or at least like a partner where she's bringing these things in. So it's like you hold so much resentment when you're doing everything in the home, you're bringing money in, you're doing all these things, and then you're getting treated poorly. So then like what else can you do? You have to fight. That's all you have to do is fight.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
it was sad. It was really, really
sad.
Because it's something you could work on, but he's not willing.
Yeah, and I think I really am Team Dorit with this because like I just feel like I can know the gaslighting that's probably happening in that thing. The only thing I can think of is like good for PK of like putting his foot down and saying no, we're clearly not working out. Like this is not good for both of us. And then 2, like him saying the whole like you emasculate me, like you make me feel less than. Like I can see a lot of us women doing that when we are the breadwinners. or at least contributing just as much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we're doing more. We just are. We're working, we're doing more, we're cleaning more, we're just doing a lot. So like we don't know how to like express it other than like probably putting our husbands down.
Yeah.
But maybe then you make more money, boo.
I know. That should be your motivation, right? You know? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just sucks because marriage is such a sacred thing. And, you know, you want it to work out and there's little kids and and you can tell she's like, I think what's sad about it is that she even said on the after show, she's like, I want to fight for my marriage, but I can't fight if he doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. So I would get if both of them were just so checked out, but it seems like one really wants to fight for it and the other one's like, it's done. We're going to stop talking on the phone as much. I don't, want this. And Dorit's going to be fine, but I think that she's scared because she has young kids. She was used to a certain lifestyle. Is she going to be like Erica? What's going to happen? What would happen if the show wasn't here? And maybe he doesn't have as much money as he once did. So now like she's more reliant on herself and not just him. There is just so much probably that she's thinking about and just really scared.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like
and it sucks that she doesn't have like her friend that she thinks that she had, I think that is sad for her. And I think it's sad for both of them, for her and Kyle. Like if they're both going through a tough time, it's like they should lean with each other instead of like hating each other.
There's a lot of people I know like this. And I even feel like because my brother and my sister-in-law, who I have a great relationship with, they were divorced. But even when I think about her, like, I don't think my brother and her liked each other, but I think that she liked saying that she was married, and
he wanted to get married and have kids.
And he
didn't do it for the right reasons.
Right. He just wanted to get married and have kids. And then they have nothing in common. They were such different people. And she didn't like him and he didn't like her. And you could tell, but she just wanted to be married. So, or like say, and I think where we're from, there's so much pressure with marriage and it's being the end goal. And especially, a lot of the time where we're from, the women don't work, they rely on their husband, or even if they get a degree, as soon as they get married, they stop working. So, I think that people just like that thought of being taken care of and being married, but then you don't get along with a person and both of you guys aren't happy. I don't know why I just thought about that. Now I'm going in circles. Yeah. So I think Beverly Hills, like I watched this episode and I was like, this is really good. This is so good.
I agree.
I was really disappointed with last season. I did not enjoy watching it. It was like a chore for me. And I love when we're able to watch something and it's actually good. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all we have for Beverly Hills. I'm sorry if we're not going to be as active this week. It's Thanksgiving and
but sometimes it helps us like be more active because like we're like, it's not like we have work, when we have work, that's when it's hard for us. Like our real jobs.
I think with me, it was just this week has been really hard for me. So just because of the kids and like all four of them at the same time sick and stuff. And I had today off too. So I'm happy because I finally like was able to just like clean and, from all the, and catch up from all the like the puke that was like everywhere. Cause I have younger ones. So they like babies that like will throw up anywhere. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, but I hope everyone has a really good Thanksgiving.
Yes, me too.
We are so thankful for you guys. Like when we even look at our numbers and just see that people listen to us, I feel like we forget and we're just so thankful and grateful because I don't think we've ever in a million years thought that we would have this podcast and have people who follow us and enjoy listening to us. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful long week, guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Herdate Sports Bar and Grill in La Vista and Gretna. Our sports bar is designed for fans of all ages. Enjoy the game in a vibrant, family-friendly setting with a menu that caters to both kids and adults. Everyone can find something they love. Our big screens and enthusiastic atmosphere make game days unforgettable. And of course, we're more than just a bar. We're a place where families and friends come together to celebrate and enjoy sports. 2 amazing locations, 12744 Westport Parkway in La Vista and off South 204th Avenue in Gretna. Herdate Sports Bar and Grill, where every day is game day.